Hi, welcome to Katrina's Creations podcast. I'm Katrina, and this is my first knitting podcast, and hopefully to be many. We are going to talk about a huge haul today. My husband and I just came back from New England, and I had a lot of fun at a lot of the yarn shops. So we're going to be talking about that. We're also going to have a giveaway. But first, we're going to get started with works in progress. I have one finished object. I've been doing some Christmas knitting, and my first knitted finished object, this is the hitchhiker pattern, and let's see if I can take it all the way across. It's a little bit smaller than the standard one. I cut some of the decreases down a little bit because I didn't want it to be as long. And this is done in the Queensland Urulu Sapphire Blue colorway. This is for my daughter-in-law for Christmas. She wears a lot of these colors, and I actually like the colors for myself, so I might be knitting one for me too. But that's one finished object that I have for Christmas. The next one, if my daughter's watching, you have to close your eyes right now. It's going to be the same pattern, but it is in a different yarn. She wears a little bit different colors, and this actually has alpaca in it. It's a gradient. Let's see if you can see it real good here. It is a gradient. It kind of goes from a real light tan to a dark, dark chocolate color. And it's really soft, and when I was first knitting this, I thought my hair was falling out and getting caught into the pattern of the knitting. I kept pulling out these hairs, and then I realized, no, read the fiber content. It has alpaca. It's not my hair. It's the alpaca's hair that was showing up in here. So I am not molting, which is good. It's coming off of here. And the next project, Mom, if you are watching, close your eyes for a few minutes. I make my mother a shawl every year for Christmas, and this year I said, what color do you want? And she said, navy blue or blue. And I said, okay. So I found, this is a top-down shawl. I don't know if you can see it. It is navy blue, and it has sapphire filament in it. So it's real sparkly. And this pattern, it is the Stacy shawl. It is from a book called Wendy Knits Lace. And I am making a shawl for myself from the same book, but from a different pattern. I'm making one that is the Tiffany shawl. And this is yarn that I actually dyed myself. It's dyed from Kool-Aid. And this is also a top-down shawl. The colors are coming through a little bit more orangey than they are. Think fruit punch and you've pretty much got it. Still smells a little bit like Kool-Aid too, but guess if I get thirsty I could suck on my shawl. But I dyed this in a class at my local knitting store and had a lot of fun, so I started dyeing some yarn for my Etsy shop, which I'll talk about later on. Now on to the good stuff. We're going to talk about what we went and what I saw at the different stores up in New England. In the area that I live in, which is in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, we have two knitting shops, one close by and another one like 25 or 26 miles up the road from me. But the one local to us is a huge knitting shop, a huge yarn shop, and she carries a lot of things. So primarily when I went up to New England, I was looking for things. I didn't think I could find any place else. So the first place we went to was in Westport, Connecticut. It was called Westport Yarns. And up there, I bought, these are Kaigu or Koigu. They're from Canada. They are a lace weight. And they look kind of yellowy in the pictures, but they're actually more orangey. They are very autumnal in color, and I really liked those. And I bought, when I went to another store, I bought another yarn to go with these that I'll show you in a few minutes. From there, we went to Halcyon Yarns in Bath, Maine. That's like the largest yarn store I've ever. It's like grocery shopping for yarn. They had one whole section of rovings because I do spin as well. They had rovings. They had all different weights of yarn. It's like in a big upscale warehouse type of building that's been refurbed, and it's really nice inside. So when we went to Halcyon Yarns, I bought, I want to make a pattern. It's a free pattern in Ravelry called Pirate's Cove, and it requires 3 different colors. I think it's actually 2 different colors, but I'm going to do it in 3. And these are the 3 in gray, and this is a navy blue, and this is a gray and a navy blue. And it's funny, my husband and I were out for a walk yesterday, and the sky was just before a storm came up, and the sky was white and gray, and there was navy blue. And I even said to him, "Oh, wouldn't that be a pretty shawl color? Look at this. I forgot I had this color." So now I'm going to have my stormy weather looking shawl. These are all out of Ultra Pima. They are Cascade yarn, and which is exactly the yarn that is called for that particular pattern. So I'm looking forward to making this because this is going to go with all kinds of clothes that I've got. From there, we went up to Bar Harbor, and in Bar Harbor is a little shop called Bees Yarns, and it's a small shop, but she's got stuff crammed from the floor to the ceiling. It's huge inside as far as what she's got in there. So what I bought at that store, oh, something else I got at Halcyon Yarns. I just looked down and forgot. Look at this. It is a worsted weight. It is a Malabringo. It's pure merino superwash. It is Rios, and it's in the Vulcan colorway. And again, it's showing up kind of light. It's definitely autumnal, and look how funny this is. It like matches my shirt exactly. So I'm thinking this is going to turn into a cowl. I just bought one skein of it, and yeah, I'm thinking it's just going to be enough for one skein. See if I can find out what the yardage is on that. I think they covered the, oh, here's the yardage. 210 yards. So yes, it will make a nice cowl or some kind of a scarf. But it's going to match this perfect. Absolutely perfect. So now back up to bees. I bought this brown. It's all different tones of brown. And this is a extra fine merino wool and silk hand painted in Peru. It's called Nubil. It's a Rapacania yarn. And this is what I got to go with what I bought at Westport Yarns. Look at those together. They are perfect. Again, very autumnal, but they're showing up much more yellow than they are in person. They're actually more pumpkin-y and orangey and browns. So it's going to look really pretty. Looking forward to those. Can you tell I like fall colors? It's kind of obvious. I also bought this. Now this is showing up pretty true to color. It is Frolicking Feet. It's made in Maine. It's from Dun Roving Yarns. It's hand painted. And the colorway is Barn Roof. And it is 100% domestic superwash merino. There's 480 yards. I want to get a pretty gray. I'm actually going to take this to my yarn shop with me on Tuesday so I can match the fiber content and find a gray that I like, or a cream or something to go with this, because I think this would be a really pretty shawl. There is a pattern I've got my eye on in Ravelry. It's a podcast that I watch. I can't remember what her podcast name is. Anyway, if I find out, I'll stick it on the show notes. But she has a pattern she just put out called Bendy Arrows. It is available on Ravelry, but it's really pretty, and I'm thinking this with gray would really look nice. I like to knit a lot in making shawls and cowls and scarves. covers up the double chin. So from there, we went, we were coming back down the coast again, and I stopped at a place called the Purple Fleece. This lady is an independent dyer, and she dyes right on her own property. She has a little building behind her house, and I've bought from her before. She's got gorgeous stuff. She does have a website as well, and a Fiber of the Month club even. But look at this beautiful gradient that I got from her. It starts white here and goes out to charcoal gray. And it is hand-painted yarn. It's 30% bamboo, 60% superwash merino, and 10% nylon, and the colorway is onyx. I have been wanting to get one of these to make a shawl going from the white to the gray. I've wanted to do that, and I've had my eye on it, and I saw this and went, yes, this has my name on it. I need this. So I bought that too. Then I looked at her rovings. How pretty. I love these colors, yellow and blue together. In fact, when I went to the dyeing class I was telling you about, where I dyed with Kool-Aid, I was wearing a blue and yellow shirt at the time with some teal and aqua. What did I dye? The same colors I was wearing. Apparently I like these colors a lot. So I did this again. I bought, yeah, the same color over again. So, but it's so soft. I can hardly wait to spin this. This is also 100% merino. The colorway is Springtime, and it's 4 ounces. So, oh, it is so soft. It actually has some grays and light purples in it too. So that is really pretty. Ooh, and the fiber's making me sneeze. Then on the way back down, we also went to, oh, I forgot something else I bought at Bees while I was up there. And this is something my local yarn shop has. I just, for some reason, missed it. It's so big, my local yarn shop, that I look around and I never manage to see everything that's there. See these? These are Ella Ray Cozy Soft, and they have a sheen to it. This one is actually gray, and then these are pretty true to color. I want to make the On the Spice Market shawl, and those are some of the colors I'm putting in with some other colors that I already had. Then coming back down, I went to the Yarn Shop girls. Their shop is called Love to Knit. It's down in East Warwick, Rhode Island. And we stopped there, and I've heard them talk about, I watched their podcast, they're one of my favorites, and they talked about query fibers. In fact, they had the dyer come in on one of their segments, and so I had to buy something from Query Fibers just to say I had done that. So, can you see it? Well, sort of. Query Fibers, and it is called Chocolate Orange. And it looks just like chocolate orange. I never would put these colors with myself, but I just might find I like this. We'll have to try it out. And what else did I buy? I bought these from them. These are Swan's Island, which is also produced in Maine. This is Edgecomb Gray, which is like, it's very tonal. It's kind of a beigey gray in reality. Yeah, I'm still getting my directions turned around in here. It's kind of a beigey gray. And then this is kind of a teal. And this is a combination of those colors plus some darker charcoal grays and creams. Again, another shawl. I like shawls. Then I went to a place called the Yarn Outlet, which was very fancy for an outlet. It was very nice. It was in Rhode Island as well. And I've never been much of a red person. It's funny, I wore lots of browns when my hair was brown. When my hair went gray, all of a sudden I'm going in for teals and turquoises and purples and bright colors that I never would have gone for before. But I saw this red, but what I liked about it was, look at the brown. And it's got this light color in here too, but I liked the brown with the red. So of course then I bought some brown that's the same color. I thought it would kind of balance out the red a little bit. And it's got some orange tones down in here. And there's a little bit of white. It's got a little bit of everything. This white is actually, it's a light cream to tan color. So I have no idea what I'm making with it, but I just like the colors together. So that's what I ended up with then. Then I went to this place called Peter Patchis Yarn. It is in Cranston, Rhode Island. It is an old warehouse. My husband went with me up there because I didn't know where I was going. And I walked up there, and there's this big warehouse and big, like, apple bins full of cotton yarn. And they're still on the rolls. You buy them by, I think it's the pound. So I have a lot of sweaters in my future. I will show you what I got. These are all 100% wool. We have baby blue. I have no idea how much there is here. It's at least a pound, maybe 2. I might be knitting a tent. I don't know. But here we go. Baby blue. Then we have maroon. And this one's pretty true to color. Maroon. Gold. Green. It's looking gray here, but it's actually a green, like a sagey green color. And this is a blend of some sort. It's wool and some, it's kind of an oatmeal-y. It's kind of an oatmeal color. I think it's showing up pretty close here. So they're gorgeous. And I'm thinking it's about 2 pounds. So not only will I have sweaters, probably everybody in my family is going to end up with sweaters from this by the time I finish. But I'll be busy with yarn for a while. So I've had a wonderful time with that. Something else I'm going to talk about, I was going to show you the 2 shawls that I'm making, the one for my mother and the one that I'm making for myself out of the hand-dyed yarn. This is the book I made it from. It's called Wendy Knits Lace. And I do like this book. I just got it from Amazon not too long ago. I can't, of course, show you the patterns that are in here, but it is based off of charts. It's not the reading type they are in charts, but the charts are a good size. They're not tiny, like, you know, really little bit. They're nice and big, so you can read them, which when you get to my age, you need to be able to see them a little bit better without a magnifying glass. So this is very nice, and the patterns so far have been very easy, very well put together, very easy to explain and understand. So those are the 2 that I'm working, and there's other ones in there I want to make, so who knows, with all the yarn I bought, something's going to be going into them. Now I wanted to talk too about books about yarn and yarn shops and knitting and crochet. I work for a library. I'm actually on a bookmobile, so I do a lot of reading. But I really like to read cozy mysteries. So you might be asking, well, what in the world is a cozy mystery? It's kind of it's a mystery that's clean. It's not graphic. You're not going to have blood and guts in it. It's usually the person that's in the main character is not a professional detective or policeman. They're an amateur. They have something else in their life that they do. They just happen to solve mysteries along the way. If you think about the old TV series Murder, She Wrote, that would be considered a cozy mystery. It's like, you know, somebody dies, but you don't have all the gore and the blood and the guts. And there's usually very little graphics of any kind as far as language or violence or sex, anything like that. So they're like clean murders, if that's at all possible. So I wanted to recommend some each segment that I've enjoyed and maybe you would enjoy too. I was hoping to get a copy of one of the books in so I could show it to everybody so you'd see what the cover looked like, but I couldn't get it in time from the library. So I'm going to tell you about it instead. The author's name is Betty Hechtman. It's Hechtman. So it's Betty Hechtman. She writes 2 different yarn series, but the first one is my favorite, and that's the Crochet Mysteries. Now, I'm not a big crocheter. I try to crochet, but I don't crochet all that much. but it's a crochet mystery, and it starts out with a character. You do need to read them in order. It just makes more sense. The main character's name is Molly Pink, and she's a recent widow, and she works for a bookstore. And while she's working in the bookstore, she notices that lots of people come in and sit in the corner and crochet. So she starts learning to crochet, and they incorporate a yarn section into the bookstore. And she is the events planner. So she has all these different other characters she meets that are part of her crochet group. And they get into these mysteries, and they have all these crazy, they each have crazy little personalities. Like one is the kind of has-been movie star that's trying to watch her weight, and yet she's tempted with a sweet tooth and is always getting into stuff she shouldn't. And there's another one who's very nervous and stressed out, so she's always pulling her crochet hook out to crochet. And then there's the guy who is a model for romance novel covers, but he was taught by his Irish grandmother how to crochet Irish lace, and so he's in the group. And then there's the sidekick character that is Adele, who also works at the bookstore, and she's like the crochet maniac. She comes in dressed in all these outlandish costumes with all the crochet all over them, and she's kind of the funny comic relief in the book. So it's really a cute series. They always usually have a pattern in the back of the book, and they also have usually a recipe in the back. Like I said, she's one of my favorite authors. Check her out, see what you think. And next time I'll tell you about the other series that she writes as well. Now we're going to get on to my Etsy shop. I do have an Etsy shop. It's also under Katrina's Creations. You can also find me in Ravelry under Katrina's Creations, but I'll show you what I've got, just a little bit of what's in the shop right now. You can check it out for yourself if you would like. I have some hand-dyed yarn. I have some sock weight and some lace weight yarn that I've made. This is the sock weight. All of it is 100% wool. You will get, it's 3 different skeins here, and this is more of like a berry color. Again, it's not showing up real well. It's kind of a not hot pink, but kind of a reddish pink and a purple, and then this one is a mix of the red and the purple, kind of the pink and the purple. And this one is the same colors. They would be considered, I guess, minis, but all total there's 880 yards of lace weight yarn in here. So you're going to get enough to do a shawl. There are 2 purples, 2 of these lighter pink colors, and then there is one that is a variegated pink and purple. And again, this is 100% wool as well. There's some other color combinations of these same colors. It's the colorway is called Bubblegum Bliss, and you'll see them numbered because there's different variations where I put together some darker and lighter colors within that same group. I have a couple of project bags. There's more project bags on the site itself, some small ones that you can kind of wrap around your hand and knit and hold your ball of yarn in at the same time. These are both drawstring bags. They are both the same colors. They're teal. They're teal and blacks and grays. The inside is the reverse of the outside, and they're just drawstring. And the ribbons are like a grosgrain ribbon in a teal, almost like a Tiffany blue kind of color. And this is the pattern for this one. It's the same colors, but it's a different pattern. This one has a chevron and polka dots, and then the inside is the reverse, and it has gray drawstrings. Now the giveaway, in order to enter the giveaway, you need to hit the subscribe button below. You need to be over 18, or if you're younger than 18, have parental permission to do so. And leave a comment down at the bottom. What is your favorite weight of yarn to knit with or to crochet with? I'll tell you my favorite ahead of time. I tend to like the lace weights. I'm not a big worsted weight yarn person, although you'd never know it by all the yarn I bought to do sweaters with, but for the most part I like lace, anywhere from lace to sock weight yarns. So put your favorite lace weight in the bottom in a comment, and like I said, subscribe. And this is what is in the giveaway. It is a set of 6 stitch markers. If you don't want to use them as stitch markers, you can always put them on a necklace or on a bracelet, and they'd be cute little charms. The first one, oh, I'm getting too close. See if I can get it. Oh, this is harder than what I thought. Okay. I don't know if you can see it. Anyway, it's a little heart with a crown on it that says Crochet Diva. And then there's another one that is just like it, a little bit bigger crown. It says Knitting Diva. Then there's one with a little sweater. Oops, it's turning on me. A little sweater with knitting needles. A skein of yarn. A skein of yarn with knitting needles. Just a plain skein of yarn. And lastly, it has little knitting needles with something knitted, and it says, I love knitting. So it's a set of 6 stitch markers. The giveaway is going to be open for 1 week. So the next time I come back for our next podcast, we will be announcing the winner. So put your entries in, and it's been great. Thank you for your patience since this is my first one, and I hope I'll get all the directional stuff worked out for next time. And I hope to see you again. Thanks again. Bye.